IG, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. What is going on? Make sure you guys share this live. Only got about 45 minutes today. I got my REI 90 program, my REI 90 class tonight. And if you are a part of REI 90, which is my real estate group coaching, or if you are not a part of my real estate group coaching, you definitely want to be a part of it. We have some incredible things going on. So we're going to get started here in a few minutes. Give me 1 second. We'll get started here shortly. All right, so today we're talking about, again, I got 45 minutes. Make sure you share this live. I'm going to talk to you about why funding has been so important and why I talk about it so much. I'm going to talk to you today about why funding is so important and why I talk about it so much. And then I'm going to tell you 10 companies that all of you are familiar with that started their business by funding it on their own with revolving credit. See, now there's a lot of people on the internet giving bad information when it comes to funding. The only thing that they're talking about is just helping people get in debt. Okay. Now, for those who follow me, you guys know that I talk about 3 different debt structures. Okay. I talk about what is called unstructured debt. Excuse me. Unstructured debt is what most people get into. Most people who are going to get funding, most people who are enamored by the pointing videos, okay, those are the individuals who are looking to get funding just for the sake of it, okay? Every time I try to get with you, nobody never follows up. I'm not sure if you're a man or woman. We have a phone number. You can always call the office. Okay. I don't personally make phone calls. Okay. You can contact the office. You can email our helpline. As a matter of fact, we've requested your information numerous times and you never provide it. So feel free to reach out and you can contact the office directly. Okay. But we definitely want to make sure we get back to you. So most people get into what is called unstructured debt. This is people who are buying vehicles who think cars are liabilities. This is people who buy a big house to live in, but it's not making them any money. What up, Tommy? This is people who buy things utilizing their credit cards that make them $0. That vacation, yes, you can write it off on your taxes, but if you're not making any money, did it really benefit you? Let's stop looking at what can be a tax write-off. Because see, we try to leverage the tax law to our advantage, but we don't have enough income for the tax benefits to be an advantage for us. So stop saying, oh, it's a tax write-off, but you're not using the credit to make money. See, most people are doing this backwards and wonder why they get jammed up, and also wondering why their business is not growing. And I'm going to tell you a couple reasons why. One, because you're trying to grow, you're trying to scale by yourself. See, you can start a business and do fairly successful financially. You know, if you make $70,000 a year in your business, that's good. You know, if you make $90,000 or an extra $50,000 in your business, that's good. Especially when the average income in North America is $47,000 a year. But if you're trying to actually scale, DM me help if you would like to get information on my one-on-one coaching. DM me the word help. Okay. Now, if you're actually looking to scale your business, you cannot do that without a team. And that is one of the things that I talk about in my real estate group coaching in my REI 90 is that I teach you how to run a real estate business. See, there's a lot of people on the internet who are successful, but if once they stop dancing, once their mouth stops moving, once they stop selling courses, their money stops because they're not running a business. It's a big difference between being an entrepreneur, having an LLC, and running a business. And a lot of people are not running businesses. Ask them what is their corporate structure. Ask them, do they have an operations manager? Do they have a customer service department? Do they have a CFO? Do they even track their books? You start throwing out those terminologies. I was about to do a business deal to acquire a company, and he told me they don't have QuickBooks. They do everything manually. Well, I can't trust that because the valuation he was trying to give me didn't add up based upon the actual revenues that he said that the company was making. And so I don't care what type of vehicle he was driving. I didn't care, the neighborhood he lived in. If the business didn't align based upon my buying criteria, I was not going to buy that business. And because he wasn't running it like a business. And so that is because he didn't have the capital to. And I'm going to talk about that here today when it comes to funding and why I talk so much about funding and how I was able to grow and scale my business, grow and scale my real estate portfolio, grow and scale and invest in other businesses. I use my credit to loan money for transactional lending, for gap funding. See, this is the power of credit. But a lot of people aren't teaching you about the debt servicing, how to structure yourself. They're just teaching you how to go out there and get a bunch of credit. Okay, so the first structure that most people are teaching you about is called unstructured debt. Then you have what is called restructured debt. Somebody type restructured debt. Restructured debt is when you have to protect yourself in the event of things going bad and you have to file bankruptcy. Okay. See, now, unfortunately, a lot of black people and a lot of people in the black community, we've been educated to think that bankruptcy is bad. Now, bankruptcy is asset protection. Now, bankruptcy can be looked at as bad when you put yourself in debt when it comes to a bunch of consumer debt. Because nine times out of 10, most people didn't fix the behavior that got them into that debt. And so when you have to file bankruptcy, whether it's personal or business, you're really protecting your assets. And so from a personal standpoint, and I'm not a bankruptcy attorney, so I want y'all tag me to nobody's shows or pages. This is just Will Roundtree's. This is my rule of thumb. Okay. When it comes to bankruptcy, on the personal side, you normally want to protect your assets, which is either your personal residency or your income. See, if Will Roundtree's income were to be in lieu of being garnished, I would restructure my debt and potentially look at bankruptcy being an option if I'm over leveraged. Now, of course, you want to get some type of counseling. Make sure that you are learning the behavior and the financial bad habits that got you there. Are you an emotional spender? Do you say yes to everyone? Are you trying to play Captain Save 'em to everyone in your family? Do you have to be at every turn up? Do you have to be on every vacation? This is the reason why a lot of people get into financial debt. And then they may have to file bankruptcy because their wages are potentially going to get garnished. That's what restructuring of your debt looks like. It's bankruptcy. It's asset protection. Then on the business side, you typically, or a lot of people may file bankruptcy to mitigate the loss of the things tied to their business, or the things that are not, that they don't have to include in a bankruptcy. And so this is also the important thing to understand, is that a lot of the times people dissolve their companies because they have had to file bankruptcy. So when you have these individuals out there teaching you guys to go buy these dead and dissolved companies, you want to be careful, because a lot of the times people only and usually dissolve a company because it has debt tied to it. So you want to be very careful for anyone who is out there teaching you guys to go and buy dissolved and distressed companies from your Secretary of State. Okay, so now that's restructured debt. Essentially, it's filing bankruptcy and you're protecting your asset. Now, the debt structure that I've been teaching about for the past 10 years, the debt structure that I talk to people about when I was one of the founding strategists that came up with the credit to cash, when I taught people how to leverage their credit to get into real estate, to start their businesses, to grow their businesses, to scale their businesses. It was all done by leveraging structured debt. Not many people are even utilizing these economic terms or these financial terms. Most of the people who are teaching people funding are utilizing the terminology wrong. No doc loans. They're telling you to get net 30 credit cards. They're telling you to get Uline and Quill. Those things do nothing for you. I've been showing people that I have several banks that provide business lines of credit that solely pull from Small Business Financial Exchange, which is commonly referred to as SBFE. We help people build their SBFE where that's what the banks look at. Banks are not looking at your paydex score. They don't even care what your paydex score is, depending on the type of lending you are looking to get. That's why it is extremely important. That's right, net 30s don't move the needle. That's why it's extremely important to know this terminology, to know what structured debt is, to know the type of funding that you're going after, to know the difference between a charge card and a credit card. A lot of these Chase credit cards that people are posting, those are charge cards. The ones that we help people get are credit cards. Start asking the individuals who you're dealing with to ask, hey, is it a charge card or a credit card you're helping us get? SBFE, Small Business Financial Exchange, is what the banks are pulling from, and we help people build their small business financial exchange. Okay? So now, I want to actually give you guys 10 businesses that all started, grew, and scaled using credit cards. Now, why do I say this? I say this because a lot of people are scared to use credit. And they're scared to use credit because they don't understand it. They don't know how to utilize it. A lot of people are scared to use credit when it comes to business, but they're not scared to use it in a club. They're not scared to use it for vacations. They're not scared to use it to buy those outfits. But then the thing is that you want to use the credit to create cash flow. Somebody type that in the chat. See, I use my credit solely to create cash flow. This is how I'm able to build and scale my businesses faster than most people. This is how I'm able to hire a full-on team while a lot of people, they're solopreneurs and why they're having a hard time scaling. This is why a lot of people are stuck in their businesses and feel like they have to be the dancing bear of their company because they don't want to utilize the credit, to utilize structured debt to continue to scale their business to create cash flow, to scale their business to create a real estate portfolio, or scale their business by investing in new information and new technology and people who can actually show you how to leverage the credit to scale your business. So I'm going to give you guys 10 companies that actually started, scaled, grew, all off of credit cards. Some of these will probably surprise you. They may or may not. The first company, Dell Technology. For those who don't know or familiar with Dell Technology, the founder, Michael Dell, actually started Dell Technologies with credit cards. See, here's the thing that I love about credit cards. There's no term. If you don't know what that means, term is the time or length you have to pay the credit back. You're not going to learn this in that credit stacking ebook that's out there. See, they don't teach you that the difference between term money and untermed, which that's not even really a real term, but we're going to use it here today, no pun intended. The reason I like revolving credit cards is because there's not a term, which means I don't have a length of time to pay it back. Here's what I mean. If I go and get one of those easy no doc loans that everybody is pointing in the sky telling you can go get with having bad credit, see, that money has a term attached to it. So let me give you an example. So if you go and borrow $30,000 on an 18-month term, at 15 to 20% interest rate, $30,000 is going to cost you about $3,900 per month to pay it back because you have to pay back $30,000 in 36 months. Versus if I have revolving credit where there is no term, I go and take $30,000 off of my credit cards. My monthly payment may only be about $460 on a 15 to 20% APR of the credit card. So now, what's easier to focus on debt servicing? $3,900 or $400? We'll just say $500. $3,900 a month or $500. See, so this is how you can focus on creating predictable income or predictable revenue leveraging your credit. Somebody put in predictable revenue. See, I teach people how to focus on creating predictable revenue leveraging their credit. Because when you have to service $30,000 at $3,900 a month versus $500 a month, you can predict your revenue a lot better. Flower Shop Boys, what's going on? So Michael Dale from Dale Technology started Dale utilizing credit cards. Next, Twitter. Did y'all know that Jack Dorsey started Twitter leveraging credit cards? And when Elon Musk came in, guess what he used? He leveraged somebody else's money, but Jack Dorsey leveraged credit cards to start Twitter. So all of you out there who say, oh, I don't like credit, well, then you want to stay where you are. Because what's the likelihood of you saving $100,000 in the next 12 months? I just helped a client get $65,000 yesterday on one credit card. I just helped one of my clients get over $300,000 leveraging 3 seasoned LLCs we help him set up. So do you want to try to work your entire life and never save $100,000 and start that business? Or do you want to position yourself like the Jack Dorseys and the Michael Dales to actually grow, scale, and start your business, to get into real estate? This is what I teach in my REI 90 program. This is why my mentees are winning. See, I don't have to ask them for money and for me to invest their money for them. I'm actually teaching them how to invest. I teach them how to get the capital. I teach them how to talk to the banks. I teach them how to deal with the title companies. So let me give you another company. We also got GoPro. Nick Woodman started GoPro using credit cards. GoPro was started using credit card. You can research all of these companies. I want you to do your own due diligence. They say documentation beats conversation. See, a lot of the times these things that a lot of people are asking you, there's no documentation of the things they're telling you. It just sounds really creative. It just sounds real clever. Because you've bought into the lifestyle, you bought into the car they're standing in front of. See, everything that I come on here and share you, I want you to go and research this. So GoPro was started using credit cards. Nick Woodman started the company GoPro leveraging credit. Let me give you another one because I got to be off here in 30 minutes to prepare for my coaching for tonight. Groupon. Andrew Mason started Groupon with credit cards. The company Groupon was started using credit cards. The last two are probably going to blow your mind. The last two may or may not blow your mind or impress you, but you'll be surprised. Okay? So Groupon was started using credit cards. They utilized structured debt. They knew the predictable revenue that they were going to generate once they got their company off the ground. They didn't have to go and crowdfund and give away 40% of their company. They were able to still retain ownership. Now, once they started, Series A, what is it called? Raising money and different things like that, and they're selling stocks of the company. That's a different level. But a lot of you won't get to that level because you don't understand the economics of how business works. A lot of you, unfortunately, won't get to that level because you won't put yourself in a position to even run your company like a business. See, one of the things that I've learned is that it's cool that you want to get 100% of the pie. But then here's what ends up happening. Any entrepreneurs on here has ever experienced a burnout? See, a lot of the times the reason you're experiencing a burnout is because you have to do everything. But like I told one of my partners, I told him, I said, look, I'd rather get 75% of my revenue and utilize 25% to hire delegation. Because then what I can do is I can go out there and go and play in a different lane, because I don't have to give 100% attention here. And that 25% I'm investing for delegation allows me to free up my time so I can go and play in another game. And now I go and create another 75% of this pie, all leveraging structured debt. This is why I'm able to scale my real estate portfolio faster than a lot of people. And I actually show HUD-1 statements. I post my statements all the time. That's important to know. Next time you sign up with your real estate guru, ask them to provide you HUD-1 statements. Ask them to provide settlement statements, since they told you they can flip your money in 30 days. They can, or in any business, ask them what their company structure model is. I'm trying to not only protect you guys, but also give you some strategy, and for you to understand why knowing structured debt is vitally important for your business. So Groupon was also started using credit cards. Let me breeze through these next couple. GoDaddy, Bob Parsons. Bob Parsons started the company GoDaddy with credit cards. If I see you guys in the chat, if you would like more information about joining the team, investing in one of our programs, please DM me the word help. My team is actually still in the office. If you sign up for REI 90 today, which I've continued to run some promotions, you can call them and find out what promotions we're running. You still have time to get on the first call tonight and go and listen to the other 27 sessions that are inside there. See, I don't sell, I tell people I don't focus on selling courses. I actually have programs that teach you. That's a big difference. Okay. So Andrew Mason from Groupon started Groupon using credit cards. Lululemon, if I'm pronouncing that right. Lululemon, Chip Wilson, the founder of Lululemon, Chip Wilson, started Lululemon using credit cards. Is this making sense to any of y'all? Like, this was mind blowing to me, because we assume that this is like some old strategy, and it's not. I just try to utilize my voice and utilize my experience to come on here and articulate it to you guys, but not only articulate it, but then to also educate you on the processes. Yes, it may take you a while to get in position, and that's fine. But once you're in position forever. Okay? Lululemon was started using credit cards. You missed it. Where do you go? Just DM me help queen and my team will reach out to you. Just DM me the word help and my team will reach out to you. Next company, PayPal. Peter Thiel. I don't come at me because I mispronounced his name, but one of the co-founders of PayPal. They started by utilizing credit cards. PayPal. Absolutely. I know what you are saying is the truth. Do you do payment plans? Yes, we do, Danielle Lee. We also offer in-house financing to get you going. PayPal was started using credit. No wonder they know how to play the credit game. They probably use the credit that they built up to loan to y'all. I know a lot of y'all got that PayPal credit. Use it. Just make sure you know how to create some income from it. Okay? See, this is not new. I've been teaching you guys this for the past, let me just say 10 years. Because I was doing this before the internet, before the social media portion of it. You can go and research my old companies. Somebody type documentation beats conversation. See, I want you guys to go and research everything that I'm sharing with you. Now, I may pronounce a name wrong, but what I'm sharing with you is completely on the record. PayPal was started using credit cards. This blew my mind as I was learning this stuff. Under Armour, a $1 billion company. Under Armour was started. Kevin Plank, who's one of the founders of Under Armour, Under Armour, they just gave Steph Curry a lifetime contract. They must be doing something right. They must be doing something right. See, here's the thing that I've learned when it comes to documentation beats conversation. You know, I've had people come in my DMs and say, man, that credit stuff and the funding and it's hard and it's taking too long and this and that and that. Look, how long did it take these companies to grow? It took a while. But then what they did was they used their credit to invest, to get the proper information, to get the proper people on their team, to hire the right executives. See, too many people are using their credit trying to look like a business. Look, I'm telling you, that designer shirt does not make you look successful. Did you know that designer luxury does not make you look successful? I'm here to tell y'all, it doesn't. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to buy, because I think we all have our variation of what we like to buy that we feel and deem that's nice. But that's not what makes you look like a successful business. The car you drive does not make you look like a successful business owner. Buying a big house and like that stuff does not make you look like you're successful. Because here's the thing I do know. If you can't take a day off, is that really success? Because you said you wanted time freedom. But you're scared to use your money to learn how to actually run a business. You want to keep trying to figure it out on your own and then wonder why nothing is growing around you. I just popped in here by mistake and just got a gem. Documentation beats conversation. Thank you. Do you work with those who don't have a business necessarily? You have a good job. Yes, I do, Danielle. Yes. I have several clients who I work with. You don't necessarily have to have a business, because what I teach you, Danielle, are concepts. I teach you concepts. I'm not just teaching you how to go to the bank and get the 5 cards that you can get with having a 500 credit score. That's not what I come on here and do. I come on here and I teach concepts to help move the needle in your business or in your personal financial life. Somebody say move the needle. I help you move the needle in your business or in your personal financial life. And the documentation beats conversation. Okay? So we have Groupon, GoPro, GoDaddy, Lululemon, Twitter, Dell Technology, PayPal, and Under Armour. I'm going to give y'all 2 more. I actually pulled 20 companies, but some of these companies you guys may or may not have been familiar with. And I want to make sure we use companies that you guys actually use today. So just know a lot of these companies you're using today, they were started, funded, utilizing credit cards, but you're still on the fence. You're still questioning if this works. You still questioning if what I teach works, but I just gave you $8 billion companies who've all been utilizing these concepts and strategies. They're not talking about getting 5 credit cards with bad credit. They're not talking about no doc loans. They utilize credit to move the needle, to leverage structured debt, to create cash flow. And this is what I've been teaching you guys. Let me tell you guys these last 2 companies. It's a process, y'all. I'm going through it right now. Willing, all I'm doing is trusting it. Appreciate that, Brian. Company number 9. Company number 9, Airbnb. Shout out to my brother E. He sent me a video where one of the founding members is Brian Chesky. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Don't quote me. Y'all already know I have a hard time pronouncing regular words, let alone last names. Airbnb, your favorite arbitrage business that went viral during the pandemic, was started using credit cards. Did you guys know that? One of your favorite business models was started using credit cards. Look, I can stop doing lives forever. I could not get back on Instagram, on YouTube, and you guys can take that you guys can clip up this live here today, and you guys should have enough to go out there and at least have the confidence knowing you're trending in the right direction. Now, whether you know what you're doing or not, definitely you would want to get some guidance. I got you, Queen. I'm gonna stay on a little bit longer. But Airbnb was started, not somebody who started doing Airbnb. I'm talking about the founders of the company Airbnb. He even said it. He said he had a sheet with a stack of credit cards that they were leveraging their credit. Because what they understood is that if they focus on predictable revenue, the debt will service itself. They wasn't focused on trying to get the no-doc loans that have a 18-month term. So do you want to pay $3,800 a month or do you want to pay $500 a month? Because here's the thing. Let me tell you why you need to learn this terminology and learn these concepts. Give it to you real simple. I got about 15 minutes before I have to get ready for my class. See, let's say you're a brand new business and you see one of these pointing videos and you go out there and you get that 18-month term business line of credit, no doc that they tell you can get. It's 18 months. That means you have to pay it back in 18 months. It's a 15% APR. You were happy because you got $30,000 and they deposit it right into your bank account. So you're looking at that money, you excited, you posting it online, you sending a screenshot to your guru, you done told all your friends, and you done sent 10 other people to go and sign up with that program because you like, man, I got $30,000 of having bad credit and I ain't have to give them nothing. Well, that's really not true, but that's how they make it sound. So you get that $30,000, you on cloud nine. Your business ain't making no money. You ain't focused on making business because you spent so much time trying to get a no-doc loan with having bad credit. You trying to research every single shortcut. You trying to figure out how not to pay it. Like you trying to come up with all of the things to do to make it look like you're running a business. You going out using a portion of it to pay to get your business starter kit outfit. And then that first bill for $3,800 come and now you sick. But not only does it come in the mail, they automatically take it out of your bank account. So it ain't nothing you could do about it. They take the money out. They take the money directly out of your bank account, whether you have it or not. And then next thing you know, you got a UCC filing. The company is trying to sue you, and now your credit is jacked up. Your bank account now your bank account is jacked up. So now you in overdraft. You got an overdraft. You done tricked the money off. Now you in LexisNexis. You in check systems, and now you can't go nowhere else to go get some more money. All because you wanted it easy. I tell people it costs to cut corners. You got to pay for shortcuts because you're going to pay on the front end or you're going to pay on the back end. Unfortunately, a lot of y'all are paying on the back end because they look cute on the front end. And most people can't afford to take shortcuts unless you're willing to pay for them. This is why people buy bottle service, because they don't want to stand in the 2-hour line. But then it depends if you want to sit in the front of the club or if you want to sit in the basement. The music don't sound the same in the basement of the club. So you got to pay to get in the front. Same thing when it comes to business. Same thing when it comes to how a lot of people are running their businesses. They're trying to take shortcuts, but shortcuts cost. Either on the front end or the back end. You're going to pay either way. And so Airbnb was started using credit cards. They had predictable revenue. But because so many people was focused on just getting credit with having bad credit, they don't have enough information to learn how to service the debt on that $3,800. But if my debt servicing is $500 because I don't have a term, it's revolving credit, I can use it and pay it back. So now I already know that for every client I bring in, I make $375. All I have to do is bring in a minimum of 2 and my debt servicing is covered. And now I can focus on just being a marketer, getting new customers, getting new clients, coming up with new content. Like I can just focus on running the business. What up, fam? See, this is why so many businesses aren't growing, because you can't focus on running the business. Because one, you don't have the confidence because you haven't learned enough. And two, you got to pay back that no doc loan. You got to pay back that net 30 charge card you done ran up for 30,000 on capital on tap. You got to pay that whole 20,000 back. What's the first step to get the revolving credit? Book a call. That's how you learn. Let me give y'all the last one. I got 15 minutes. If you learning something here on this slide, type the number 1 for me on the chat. I need to, because I can't hear the energy. I want to see the energy. If you've learned something here today on this chat, on this live, type the number 1 for me. Let me tell y'all the last company. Last company might blow y'all mind. See, here's one of the things that I've learned. One of the many things I've learned in life. Somebody asked me, actually my good friend E, we were talking earlier today and we always talking and he was like, man, like, how do you know so much about all of this stuff? And I said, honestly, E, I learned because I failed a lot. I said, I learned because I failed a lot. But when I say I failed a lot, the failures were the experiences that I learned for the things that I was doing wrong. And I was doing it wrong because I was trying to do everything myself. I was doing it wrong because I was trying to cut corners and I couldn't afford to cut those corners. I was doing it wrong because I'm trying to piecemeal information and getting different information from different people who have different ideologies. I tell people all the time, you don't have to listen to me, but whoever you follow, make sure their ideology aligns to what your end goal is. Because you can go and listen to somebody who sounds the slickest, but I'm going to tell you what a lot of people do. Most people gravitate to what sounds easy to do and then wonder why they have no growth or why they get jammed up. See, easy is cheap. Easy doesn't help you grow. If you go in the gym and if you just lifting weights and you just doing like this and doing your arm curls and doing your bench presses and there's no resistance, your body will never grow to what you want it to be. If you want a Stairmaster and you just, on one and you're really not putting any resistance in the parts of your body that you want to develop, your body will never grow. So how can your business grow? How can your bank account grow? How can you financially grow and get the time freedom that you claim you want if you want easy? Let me tell y'all this last one because I got to get ready for my call. Apple. Did you guys know that Apple, Steve and Steve, both of the founders' names were Steve. They actually used credit cards to purchase the original components to build their first computer, which ultimately became Apple. What do you recommend for 2-year-old collection? You gotta find where the violation is at. You gotta find where the violation is at, or book a call. That's gonna be my new tagline. Book a call. Somebody make me a T-shirt that say "Book a call." Somebody make me a T-shirt to say "Book a call." That's my new slogan. Because I've been giving out free information for a very long time, and I don't mind doing so. But sometimes we get stuck because we don't want to book the calls, whether it's with me or with somebody. Book the call. I know people who try to figure out their legal affairs and don't know how to speak legalese. Look, you got to book a call with an attorney. People be going back watching Matlock cases and trying to watch law channels, trying to see if they can know how to get out of their predicament. No, book a call. So, Apple utilized credit cards to buy the components to build their first computer. So this is what I mean when I say startup. How I utilized my credit in the beginning, and I got approved for about $47,000. So when people get mad and say, man, I only got 20,000, it's 20 more thousand than you had, and 20,000 that you didn't have to save for. Yes, they may have been a cost associated with you getting the 20,000, but that's the opportunity cost of doing business. See, when people complain about the cost of doing business, but then they say their goal is to buy a $100 million building, I say cap. Stop the cap. I need to get a push button and say stop the cap. How you gonna see the value of investing and putting $40 million down on $100 million building, but you don't see the value in the beginning opportunity cost of you starting your business? Stop the cap. Stop it. Just stop the cap. Stop the cap. Be real with yourself. So that 47,000 that I initially got, what I did was I took that capital and I invested in my infrastructure. I took that 47,000 and I invested in my infrastructure. I improved my website. Like, I improved in things that was going to be to the benefit of me growing the company. Now, I wasn't making money in the beginning, but here's what I also did. I also didn't quit my job. See, people get capital and they quit their job thinking that the capital is income. I did a whole live about that. Credit is not income, people. So stop quitting your job because you get some capital. I have clients who make $15,000, $20,000 a month from real estate portfolios and they still have their jobs. I tell people 5 houses is not enough for you to quit your job. I told one of my mentees, I said, look, if you're not focused, a lot of people say, oh, I want to replace my income. Why? Your focus should not be just to replace your income, because you can't survive on the income you're getting now. You need to double and triple your income. And so we're going to use the credit to create predictable income so that way you can triple it. If you're just trying to replace it and quit your job, that's a disaster for financial ruin. Stop listening to whoever's giving you that ideology. So you got to be careful who you're listening to and listen to the dialogue and the verbiage that they use. Don't ever listen to somebody say, hey, let me show you how to replace your income. No, let me show you how to supplement or triple your income. The shit is going to be hard. It's going to take some work. You're going to fail. You're going to take some L's. Like somebody put in a meme, ain't no millions without taking L's. And L's don't mean you lose everything. L's just means you had to go through a learning period because of the unrealistic expectation you may have had. That's all an L is. An L doesn't mean you lose everything. And when you have a mentor who can guide you through those L's, it softens the blow because then you don't handle it emotionally. You're more educated. You can probably see it before it's coming. But Apple, they utilize credit cards to buy the components to build the first computer, which ultimately became something that most people have something related to Apple in their house, some form of a device. So, as I mentioned, how much time I got left? I got 3 minutes left. When it comes to funding, first of all, you have to understand there's an opportunity cost to doing business. Next, you have to learn that you want to be able to utilize structured debt properly. Most people don't even know the terminology. Structured debt, unstructured debt, restructured debt. What up, Wayne? Most people don't know the difference between term money and unturned money or just unsecured. See, the reason I love to use my credit cards to buy property or to buy things that are going to make me money is because if it's an asset attached, if something happens, I still own the asset. It can still make me money. I can still leverage the asset. I can borrow against the asset. I can buy a business. I have a deal on the table now to buy a business that's going to cost me a certain amount of capital to purchase, but the business is already profitable. The business is doing about $800,000 a year. It's netting about 43% of its gross revenues, and I don't have to do anything with it. But that's because I utilize my structured debt to put into my company to delegate to delegate the 25% so I can go play in another lane. And while I'm building up all of these companies, then I'm learning how to build valuations, because my goal is not to own businesses forever. See, that may be you guys' goal. Some of that y'all will catch on the way home. See, when you start learning how to build valuations of businesses, when you start learning what constitutes as a good deal, when you start learning if somebody has put a valuation on their company that is not a true valuation, just like in real estate, just because the house is cheap don't make it a good deal. Just because it's in a good neighborhood doesn't make it a good deal. But if you don't know how to evaluate deals, you don't know anything about structured debt, you didn't know that these 10 companies utilize credit to buy business, to start business, multi-billion-dollar businesses, well, you're going to continue to stay in the same situation you are in. And whether you prefer that or not, and I'm not saying that it's bad, I just know that most people want more out of life or want more for life. And like I said in a post today, most people are stuck in their financial situation because they don't know that money is supposed to make you money. Somebody said we called it like Randy Moss. So until you learn that money is supposed to make you money, or until you learn what Brian Chesky, Andrew Mason, Nick Woodman, Bob Parsons, Chip Wilson, Jack Dorsey, Michael Dale, Peter Thiel, Kevin Plank, and Steve Jobs learned, they learned very early that credit is supposed to make them money. So y'all can go out there and keep trying to look like you running a business, but the needle ain't moving because you don't understand these concepts that I'm teaching you. So if you would like somebody from my team to reach out to you, DM me the word help. If you sign up for the REI 90, which is my real estate group coaching, you can actually still have time to get on the call tonight, which is in 15 minutes. And on our calls, I'm actually bringing a new bank partner to the table who, let me tell y'all something, for my real estate investors, I have a bank partner that can finance real estate deals as low as $50,000 and do cash out refinances, as well as portfolio blanket loans, as long as the blanket loan or the portfolio is a minimum of $75,000, and they do this all under the business. If that doesn't get you excited, you ain't really in this game. So DM me the word help